Good afternoon. My name is Robert Friedman and I am the managing editor of Foreign Policy Digest. We would like to welcome our listeners and our viewers to another installment of Worldviews, a series of periodic interviews conducted by the staff of Foreign Policy Digest, which brings together elected officials, diplomats, and academics to a forum to discuss international relations and world affairs. Today we are very pleased to have with us Ambassador Andreas Kakouris, who is the ambassador of the Republic of Cyprus to the United States. The ambassador has served in a number of diplomatic posts within the foreign ministry, from Ireland to Brussels to the United Nations. We are very pleased to have him here with us today. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Many have cited Cyprus for its highly strategic location, particularly with respect to its proximity to continental Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. What role do you see Cyprus's proximity to these very important global regions playing in your foreign policy and your domestic agendas? And further to that, do you anticipate the relationship of your country with these regions will change in the years to come? When we spoke earlier, you gave some discrete examples of sort of the way that your proximity was able to provide an important leverage for your role in conflicts throughout the globe, and I think that would be important for some of our listeners to hear about.
Sure. In the US, you often talk about location, and that is exactly the situation with Cyprus. Approximately half an hour's flying time from Beirut, Damascus, and Tel Aviv. The Middle East, a very important region of the world, a very important region for the United States. Cyprus, even before joining the European Union, belonged to the non-aligned movement. It has extremely good relations with countries that belong to the non-aligned movement, but particularly with countries and peoples of our immediate region. It has allowed us, under the radar screen in the past as well, when one talks about the Middle East peace process, to engage the various parties and bring them onto the island for track 2 diplomacy. I'm not going to bloat Cyprus's role in the Middle East peace process, but we do offer, I think, an important contribution to the efforts to find a solution to the Israeli-Palestinian or the wider Arab-Israeli conflict, because of the relations that we do have with the Israelis, the Palestinians, and others. And let me, if I may, just cast your viewers and listeners' mind back to 2006, when you had the war in the Lebanon. At the time, 60,000 foreign nationals evacuated from the Lebanon, including 15,000 US citizens. They evacuated to the safe haven of Cyprus. For us, that was an obligation, a moral and an ethical obligation that we had to help anybody and everybody that needed assistance at that time, and we did so. Nobody would want to see a similar situation, of course, develop, but if it did, Cyprus will again stand ready to help anybody that does need help at that time. So this is one of the areas, I think, but hopefully captures the essence of Cyprus and the role that Cyprus can play in the region. And it is important, and I think sometimes undervalued and underappreciated, but because of the relationship that we do have with the region, Cyprus should be utilised, and that is a role that we are very keen and happy to play.
Well, I think the examples that you provided certainly illustrate how Cyprus plays an important role in the global community, can be a tremendous resource for countries internationally. I was wondering if you would comment briefly on the perception, which appears frequently in the Western media, that the government of Cyprus is serving as a barrier or as an encumbrance to Turkey entrance into the European Union, because that is something which gets covered a lot in the papers in the United States.
Right. Well, you are right in that it is a misperception, and I arrived in December 2006 to be greeted not too long thereafter with the press bumper stickers, Cyprus blocks Turkey's EU path. Let me set the record straight. The government of Cyprus is not blocking Turkey's accession path. It is Turkey and Turkey's continuing occupation of Cyprus, an EU country. In essence, Turkey occupying European Union land that is blocking Turkey's forward movement to the EU. It is Turkey that doesn't recognise Cyprus, an EU member state, contrary to its obligations, that is blocking Turkey's EU path. And let me give you some examples. If Cyprus had wanted to block Turkey's forward movement, it could have done so in December 2004 and in October 2005, when the European Union took the decision for forward movement in Turkey's accession path and commencement of negotiations as well. We did not. We didn't because we took the decision that a Europeanized Turkey is a positive. It is a positive for Turkey itself because it will go through the reform process needed of a country seeking to join the European Union. It is a positive for Cyprus because it presupposes the end of the occupation, good neighbourly relations, recognition, and I think we can all agree that whilst Turkey is occupying Cyprus and doesn't recognise the Republic of Cyprus and doesn't meet its obligations as laid out by the European Union collectively, it is difficult to see Turkey moving to its goal of accession. But we took the position, as I said before, of allowing Turkey, in essence, to show its European colours and credentials. Regrettably, it has not moved in the way that it should have. So in December 2006, the European Union, again, collectively, decided to freeze the opening of 8 chapters in the negotiating process because Turkey refuses to allow Cypriot interest vessels to dock at Turkish ports, Cypriot aircraft to overfly Turkey. Turkey does not recognise, as I said, Cyprus. It continues to veto Cyprus joining various international organisations. All of these in violation of Turkey's obligations, not only to the Republic of Cyprus, but collectively to the European Union. At the time, it was decided that the European Commission would review over the coming years, so 2007, 8 and 9, whether Turkey had met its obligations. Regrettably, it continues on the same path as it did before, and only very recently, last week, the foreign ministers of the European Union, endorsed by the heads of state of the European Union, made very, very clear that Turkey continues not to meet its obligations towards the Republic of Cyprus, called on Turkey to be constructive in the efforts for a solution, to stop the vetoing, to move forward on good neighbourly relations. As a result of that, our foreign minister felt necessary to make the following comment, that whilst the European Union had a consensus decision on the fact that Turkey did not meet its obligations, it did not go far enough in consequences of that inaction by Turkey. As government, we have taken the decision that there are 6 additional chapters that we will put specific criteria if they are to open, and these are chapters that are directly affected by Turkey's own inaction or unwillingness to meet its obligations towards the Republic of Cyprus, as set out both in the European Union statement of September 2005, in the negotiating framework of that year, and also in the Council conclusions of December 2006. So the ball is in Turkey's court. Cyprus is not blocking Turkey. Turkey is blocking Turkey. We want to see Turkey in the European Union, but it is not a blank check. Turkey needs to meet its obligations. And if I can just add the following as well, I think this is where there is a slight difference in how the US and successive administrations who fully support Turkey moving closer to the West, including joining the European Union, see Turkey and how we see the whole EU-Turkey relationship.